What's going on, everybody? I wanted to hop on here real quick, and I've had a couple people ask me to give my input on mix oil, what oil that I like to run. With that being said, I'm not saying this is the only oil there is, or your saw is going to tear up, or you're wrong if you run a different oil. I don't care if you put diesel fuel in your saw, if you run 10W30 with oil, it doesn't matter to me. It's your saw, it's your stuff. You do what you want to with it. I'm just doing this because I had a couple people ask me what my oil preference was, what I thought good oil was. With that being said, I run all kinds of different oils. I run the cheapest oil that you could buy, and I run pretty good oil. Well, here lately I've been running the Husqvarna XP oil. It's pretty good oil. It's a synthetic blend. It ain't full synthetic. It comes in a bottle like this right here. I got 24 of these 5.2 ounce bottles for like $70-something on eBay. It's pretty good oil. The only thing, I'm about out of it and I didn't buy any more. And the only reason being is because this stuff smells horrendous. It smells like no other two-stroke that I've ever ran before. All exhaust has a smell, don't get me wrong. Two-stroke has its own smell, But this will dang near take your breath away. If you're like if you're bucking a log or down there cutting and you get some of the exhaust blowing back, you're kind of in a tight spot, or getting really, which I don't know, getting really into it or whatever. Like it burns your eyes and everything. Like it's, I don't know. I put 3 of these bottles to 5 gallons, which mixes it about 45 to 1, which equals, I take that back. I put 5.4 gallons of this to 3 bottles. 50 to 1 is 6 gallons, 40 to 1 is 4.8 gallons. So I strike it right in the middle at 5.4. And I've run the Makita Domar full synthetic oil. I really like that. It's pretty pricey. And I've also run, I don't have any bottles of that. I'm all out of that Makita stuff. I've also run the Echo Red Armor, the regular Echo oil. Not the Red Armor, but the other kind. This time, I know it's crazy, but I wrote down and bought this. I think if you get 24 of these, you take 3, you can make about 40 gallons of gas. Because, it's 24 in a pack. You take 3, that's 8. So that's 8 5-gallon jugs. That's 40 gallons of gas for this. It's about $70. I just got this. This is a 12.8 ounce bottle, and to mix it 45 to 1, I will have to can't get over. To mix it 45 to 1, I'll put about 4.5 gallons to one of these bottles. I got 6 of these bottles for I think it was $90, but this is a fully synthetic engine oil. So it's full synthetic, whereas this is a synthetic blend. I'm going to fully synthetic in my newer saws, these 590, these 500 series. Because the reason being, when I bought my Makita 7900, the man that runs the shop in my hometown, he's a Domar Makita dealer, has been, I'd say probably for 30 years or more. Ever since I can remember, he's been in business. And he told me when I bought that new saw, he said that fully synthetic oil helps these new emission saws run cooler. The ones with the clogged up mufflers. I'm gonna say these 500 series and they may not be so clogged up, but any emission saw, I believe that the fully synthetic will help it run cooler. And I don't know, but I've seen quite a few videos on YouTube of some pretty good saw mechanics. When they rebuild saws and all that all the time, they'll break the saw down and they'll have a scored cylinder and piston, and it'll be on the exhaust side, and they'll be like, it's probably from a dual chain getting the saw too hot and everything like that. And it probably is, a dual chain does not help your saw at all, and it will make it run hotter. But I just wonder if some of it ain't due to people running regular oil, not running the fully synthetic oil. And I don't know that. And I may be wrong. That little Husqvarna 435, it's an X-Torque, emission saw. And I run every kind of oil imaginable in that thing. And I've had that thing for 10 years or better. And when I broke it down to port, it still looked really good. But I keep a sharp chain. Before I got really big into saws, I was one of these guys that put gas in it, put oil, mixed the oil in it. Didn't care what kind of gas it was. Didn't care what kind of oil it was. If it was mixed, didn't care if it was 45, 35 to 1 or 60 to 1, 80 to 1. If it had a little tint to it, I threw it there and run it. Now, since I've kind of got into saws and stuff a little more, because I used to just cut. But now that I've got into saws a little more, I think that I try to do a little better at upkeep, because if you maintenance your car like it's supposed to be maintenance, then you get a whole lot more miles out of it. It costs you a little more money, to keep things going, change your oil, It don't cost you any money if you don't ever change your oil in your car, but eventually it's going to cost you a lot of money because it's going to go kapooey, either a new car or a new engine, And I kind of feel that way about saws too, which I know a saw ain't as much as a car, but you pay $1,000, $1,500 for a saw, you want to get as much life out of it as you can. And I don't really know the price difference in this fully synthetic oil, like the cheapest fully synthetic oil and the cheapest non-synthetic oil. I don't really know the difference. So it's one of those, you may be paying more money for fully synthetic oil than may cost you more money in the long run. I don't know. I haven't done the math. I haven't had ran saws long enough with fully synthetic and non-fully synthetic to see which one lasts longer. This is just my opinion. Take it with a grain of salt. You do what you want to do. This is just the way I do things. I like, for the last 4 to 5 years, I've run either a synthetic blend or a fully synthetic oil. With the exception of a couple times, I think I bought a little 6-pack of this, 1 gallon mates. I may have run 6 gallons of just this Red Armor stuff. And when I bought it, I might have thought it was synthetic and then found out that it wasn't. I don't think that it is. Another thing that I do is I buy non-ethanol gas. And I know a lot of people say it doesn't matter, and it may not matter to you, and that's fine. And some people, all they can get is ethanol gas. You don't have a choice to get non-ethanol. But here in my hometown, we've got 2 places, like our local co-op. It's not a co-op, it's the Southern States, but they have non-ethanol, 91 or 93 octane. I think it may be 91, I can't remember. And then another gas station has 89 or 87, whatever the low grade is, non-ethanol. I get the 91 or whatever because I get gas up there at the Southern States. So where I work at, we have probably 25 generators, and we have our own pumps there at work that we fill our work trucks up with and our equipment up with, and it's non-ethanol gas. And when we run it don't have a problem. We run out of gas, if the people don't come and fill the tanks up. By the time we use it, they come like once a week, and sometimes we go through a little more gas. Or if the pump messes up, or if they have come back in, they had been running that ethanol gas, and they have to take everything apart as far as the fuel system go and clean it because there's a white powdery substance in it. And I'm pretty sure that's due to the ethanol, because when we run the non-ethanol, that doesn't happen. So that's why I run ethanol gas. Used to, 5 years, 6 years ago, I'd put whatever kind of gas I could get in it. But I really changed my deal. I'll tell you another thing. Before that I changed to non-ethanol, a couple of my saws have to do carburetor work to them every season. They wouldn't want to run right. They wouldn't want to do this right. Yada, yada, yada. I'd have to take them somewhere. I'd have to try to mess with them myself or whatever. And since that I run non-ethanol, it don't matter how long the saw sits, they don't sit as long as what they used to. But I don't have carburetor issues. Not due to ethanol fuel anyway. I did have one carburetor issue with my Domar Makita because I drained all the fuel out of it, and I think some trash got up in it, and it set, and the diaphragm got all funky on me, which was the same in the car. But anyway, that's my take on the whole gas and oil situation. You run what you want to, but for me, yes, it costs more to run the non-ethanol fuel high grade. It's about $5 a gallon here. My saws make me money, so I can justify paying a little more for the fuel, paying a little more for the oil, more so than maybe some of you can. Just because if you cut firewood, 2 or 3 ricks of firewood a year, or just seasonal stuff, I'd be buying the cheapest of everything I could. I'd still probably be running ethanol-free gas, but, I wouldn't be running no expensive oil because you're not putting a whole lot of time on your saw. Me, I put quite a bit of time on my saws, so I just run the good oil. But anyway, that's my thoughts on that. Like I say, I'm not telling you this is right, wrong, indifferent. This is just what I do. If you want to leave your opinion in the comments for the couple guys that asked me about oil, to give them some insight from you, then do so by all means. And I'd be kind of interested in what everybody else is doing too. And anyway, we'll see you. We'll catch you on the next one.